Tonight on 2020, Holidays Unplugged.
This is my worst Christmas ever!
But not hers. Christmas on steroids, even in the bathroom.
And music while you do your business?
Perfect.
Your holiday survival guide, starting with the office Christmas party.
Is this enough to get 20 people plastered? Yeah, I should do it.
You can completely blow up your career if you make the wrong move.
You mean like this one? But that's nothing compared to the Tyra Banks party.
The ambulance had to be called. It was chaos.
Like this? Party animals. And 'tis the season of giving and taking. Even scamming kids from their Christmas puppy presents. Chris Cuomo goes undercover as a woman. This woman.
If you need to be me, be sexy.
To catch a thief.
You're running a scam, right, Jimmy? And you got caught.
Christmas crooks. Plus, are you a Grinch?
I don't give the kids presents.
Do you think he's a big meanie?
And it's not Secret Santa, it's Santa's secrets. Everything from beards to bad breath.
You need to have great personal hygiene.
Santa Claus Confidential. Tonight, it's your holidays unplugged. Here's Chris Cuomo.
No matter what your faith is, we are in the thick of the holiday season, a season of giving. But don't let your guard down, because some people interpret that as the season of taking, even swiping the baby Jesus from your front yard. So we start with a big, scary green guy you've all heard of. And I'm not talking about what you look like the day after the office Christmas party.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
The Grinch who stole Christmas.
Clearance sale. Everything must go.
The presents, the decorations, the tree. But if you believe that no one's that cold-hearted in real life, think twice. Turns out holiday season is stealing season. Check out this brazen bandit swiping a load of presents from the front porch of this house in broad daylight. And why bother buying when you can break in and steal a 10-foot symbol of peace on earth? And to make sure the holiday is about family, this Colorado Grinch brought along his young son. Just this week in Texas, surveillance cameras catch this guy making off with Santa's sled, and Frosty too. Fearing not the naughty list, he goes back, nabbing an inflatable train set, and even the big man himself. And then there's this caper that got a ton of attention in Phoenix. Christians, avert your eyes. Stealing Jesus from a church and into a pickup truck.
Baby Jesus goes missing almost every season.
The Robinson family of Denver waits all year for Jesus to come, only to have him sinfully swept away.
It means a lot to us to have this nativity scene. It's, to keep Christ in Christmas.
So this year, the Robinsons are boosting the omniscience of their godchild in the form of a GPS tracker. In fact, a security company gives out GPS tracking devices free to churches all over the country now, like here in New Jersey. But this kind of theft is penny ante compared to the band of scammers we found who make the Grinch from the movie look like Santa Claus. They steal hundreds of millions of dollars, countless hearts, and even puppies from little kids.
Puppy scams are some of the worst because not only have you lost in your pocket, but your heart's been harmed.
A diabolical international online puppy selling scheme, preying on loving parents like Cole Turner, a Texas firefighter looking for a puppy for his 7-year-old little boy Ty after a beloved dachshund was killed by a coyote. Cole decided to go big this time, a Great Dane.
So maybe it wouldn't be such a appetizing thing to a coyote.
An online breeder sent these photos of a pedigreed Great Dane. Hello, baby Marmaduke. Turner signed a contract with a woman named Elżbieta Murkakova on the spot, wiring her the $600 payment. But on the agreed-to day for delivery, no dog and one broken-hearted boy.
It's kind of like waking up on Christmas morning and Santa Claus not being there almost. I really would like to find out who did this, who took my money, who made my son cry.
We decided to get after these Grinches for the tiny Texans and others like him. Our reporting revealed a vast network of online con artists behind the puppy scams, mostly based out of Nigeria, like these guys shot by ABC News. We decide to lay some bait with the perfect hapless victim, me. We try out one of many suspicious ads on a website offering French bulldog puppies like these for sale.
I'd like the dog as soon as possible because, I have the holidays coming up.
Easy peasy, they tell me. Just wire $700 and the dog would come to the airport of my choice in days.
I'll get the money out today. You'll have it tomorrow morning.
We're told to send the money to Gertrude Marshall of Flint, Michigan. We figured, phony name, right? Wrong. This is Gertrude Marshall. Everything else was phony. Turns out Gertrude was the victim of a scam within a scam. She told us she thought she was just helping her online Nigerian boyfriend, Jimmy, cashing and sending him wire transfers for what he said was his electronics company.
I was gullible, I was stupid.
Gertrude was angry, but she was also grateful, so she gave us an early Christmas present. All her account information, so we could track down Jimmy, the man who was scamming her. We had a new plan, simple genius. I would pose as Gertrude and seduce Jimmy into showing his face. First, I had to get the feel of Gertrude's vibe.
If you need to be me, be sexy, but don't give it all away. Save some for later.
Jimmy? You call him baby or just Jimmy? Honey? Honey. So open the camera, honey.
Shockingly, it wasn't going so well. My moves seemed to lack Gertrude's magic.
I got no game, Gertrude. I got no game. I got nothing on you.
Maybe it was the time difference. It was very early for me most of the time. My wife was looking over my shoulder. Anyway, I switch tactics and go to my strength, threats. We hint that if he doesn't show himself, Gertrude may never cash another wire for Jimmy. Sure enough, Loverboy says he has a surprise for Gertrude. Turns out, this is Jimmy. But he is about to get the real surprise.
Jimmy! Jimmy, why you look so surprised? You running a scam, right, Jimmy, and you got caught?
Jimmy, of course, bails.
Yeah.
But can you believe he almost immediately messages Gertrude asking her to do another wire transfer pickup? No shame in his game, but Gertrude is out of his clutches. Her situation made us think of what happened with Cole Turner, who was furious at the scammer who ripped him off, whom he believes is a woman named Elżbieta.
It really pisses you off. I mean, I'd just soon choke her to death as I had to look at her probably.
Hold on a second, Cole. We suspected Elżbieta may be just like Gertrude. Sure enough, when we found her in New York, she too had no idea about any puppies, and a heart that belonged to a man in Africa who she'd only known online through this one photo.
Have you ever sat with him like this, face to face?
No, face to face.
She too thought she was just sending business payments to her online lover. But we tracked down the man in Nigeria who was actually receiving the money. Elżbieta had been duped.
What makes you sad?
Because I never ask somebody for money. I never ask somebody for money. Never.
Our reporting freed Elżbieta from her scammer, but not from potential criminal responsibility. And that is when something took over here, something scammers could never steal. Holiday spirit. When we told Turner about Elżbieta's situation, he decided to close the case and open his heart.
If she was truthfully scammed herself, of course I can forgive her because she didn't know what she was doing. She didn't do it. Her name was used.
And so we end with what this was always supposed to be about, a boy and his doggie. This Christmas, Ty Turner has his coyote-proof pal, Lou, bought from a real breeder. And Dad has a valuable lesson of buyer beware.
That's the way to buy a dog, face to face, cash in hand. You give me something and I'll give you the money.
Next. next. Deck the halls with everything.
Welcome to the Santa Claus room.
It is crazy, but it's not like the cuckoo house crazy.
If you say so.
It's 82 degrees with no heat, just Christmas lights.
When we come back. "2020 continues with Decking the Halls and everything else. Here's Nick Watt.
Like beacons across the land, jewels of suburbia, the homesteads of holiday fanatics. Who are these people? Is this illuminated excess what Christmas is all about nowadays? I wonder if they decorate indoors too. We went searching for the most extreme case and it brought us here to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Shay?
Shay Gibbons has never found an ornament she doesn't like.
Look at him. You're speechless, right?
Well, of course I was speechless.
I even have a talking Christmas tree.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Hello, Mr. Christmas.
Well, hello.
How does that work?
It's magic.
Ay caramba, there's one in the bathtub as well, another in the fish tank, and the dogs have their own. 169 trees draped in 100,000 lights.
There's no way you could be sad in this house.
Until you see the electricity bill.
Well, that's his problem. He pays the bills.
He is long-suffering husband Tom. Their electric bill doubles during the holidays, but they never need turn on the heat. Those lights are hot.
It's 82 degrees with no heat in this house, just Christmas lights.
There's an upside-down tree. Not sure why.
My daughter did that. She's a weirdo. But see, and then she says, Mom.
She's a weirdo.
Wow, I'm right here.
Shay reckons total spend on decorations over the years, maybe $100,000. And the trees aren't the half of it.
Welcome to the Santa Claus room. We have probably got 100 nativities.
There are entire snowy villages, and I mean entire.
A whorehouse.
That's a whorehouse?
Yeah, every Christmas village has to have one, right?
I don't understand. I just don't understand.
My dad loved Christmas. We didn't have a lot, but we had a lot of Christmas.
Husband Tom has had to grow into his role. He's in charge of exterior inflatables.
Did you know that she did this before you married her?
I was told that she did Christmas rather extravagant.
Daughter Charity was born this way.
It kind of became a sickness. A contagious sickness.
Oh, aren't they cute? I love
Charity feeds Mum's habit.
I spy my tree. It's really cool because it has a bubble tree and it goes all the way up. I'm gonna get the tree.
It is crazy, but it's not like the cuckoo house crazy. It's just, it's fun. If it wasn't this, she'd find something else. And this is safe.
And everybody's invited to their Christmas party. The price of admission, a donation of a toy for a needy child. Shay's over-the-top decorating was even featured on TLC's My Crazy Obsession. She starts work October 1st.
And it takes how long?
I'm not done yet.
Then December 26th, early morning, she starts taking it all down. Everything must be back in the attic, in the garage, in the other attic, and the other garage, and you get the idea. By January 1st.
Now that don't seem so crazy, does it?
Stop kicking me.
Her grandkids don't think it's crazy.
They get to open up one gift apiece from the 15th to the 25th, and then they get to open up the rest on Christmas.
Okay.
The heat, the lights, the inescapable Christmas cheer. I had to get out, and someone said there's a fix on the other end of the Christmas spectrum in Seattle, Washington, at Greg Hanscom's house.
I don't give the kids presents.
You've never given them presents?
I've never given them Christmas presents.
Yep, you heard him right.
I don't give the kids presents.
Greg the Grinch does not give his adorable daughters Lucia and Chloe Christmas presents.
Do you think he's a big meanie?
Yeah, me too.
He's taking an admirable stand against this. the "I'll give you my Furby when you take it from my cold, dead hands" brand of 21st century consumerism. And this.
What the heck is that?
The internet is littered with examples of the desperately disappointed.
I want it. I want a toy. These are all junky toys. This is my worst Christmas ever.
It's just become this mad sort of orgy of shopping.
I'm gonna get the tree!
We've been overcome with stuff.
The family always has a tree. He's not a monster, but he wants Christmas to be about this kind of quality family time. Greg writes for a tree hugger website, grist.org, and I don't mean that kind of tree hugger. And he demanded family and friends also cease and desist from giving gifts to his kids.
Are you just cheap?
Wife Tara sympathizes with Greg's stand, but she'll make sure the girls receive a little something anyway.
Santa is coming to our house this year.
I mean, they love Christmas.
What would you like to have in terms of decorations in the house?
A giant blow-up snowman and Santa Claus and reindeer and giant candy canes.
Yeah. I mean, like reindeer on the roof would be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Nick.
So you know what it's like.
You shouldn't have.
I know I shouldn't have.
This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about, right here.
They're being corrupted.
Deep down, I agree with Greg's philosophy, but maybe not his methods.
Greg up in Seattle, he's not going to give his kids Christmas presents.
What?
He thinks it should be about family and not about the politics of gifts.
Give me his number. I'll call him.
Shay says she does have the real spirit of Christmas and that Jesus would approve.
But, I mean, the trees have got nothing to do with Jesus.
But they're pretty, aren't they? He'd be like,
Yes,
you
they
go,
are.
girl.
Jesus would be like, you go, girl.
You go, girl.
Next, the Christmas office party from hell. There's passing out, making out,
And I just like bit his finger. This is your boss.
and then there's making history, like the Tyra Banks staff party.
Will go down in history as the party to end all holiday parties.
Find out why. Coming up. Now, hit the office Christmas party with some party animals. Here's Sharon Alfonsi.
Tis the season for holiday office parties. So much fun, or so horribly awkward, and preserved for generations to come on YouTube. Playing Pop the Balloon with your boss. Then there's the cubicle cha-cha. And the gift that keeps giving, those scene stealers. But nothing can trump this, the big exit. The lows sometimes the result of the high expectations we all have during the holidays. Talk show host Tyra Banks had just finished her big Christmas show.
This is one of our biggest shows of the year.
All this stuff, it's all yours! Generously doling out earrings, designer bags, and shoes to her guests. The show was doing well, ratings were rising, and so were spirits as Tyra's staff crowded into this bar for the annual holiday party.
Everyone was pretty liquored up, enjoying the Christmas spirit, if you will.
Scott Martin was there too. An editor, he'd been nominated for an Emmy for his work on the show, and like so many others, was hoping they'd be gifted by Tyra too. Long after the party started, Tyra arrived with Santa in tow.
Santa comes out with a very large bag of what we thought were Christmas bonuses, possibly.
Inside Santa's bag?
It was full of McDonald's hamburgers.
What was the reaction when people realized it was hamburgers?
The reaction? People were throwing off buns, looking through, there were wrappers everywhere. I think that there was the thought process that, okay, maybe there's something in the burger. maybe there's a gift card between those layers and the cheese.
But there wasn't, and all hell broke loose. The party now referred to as Burgergate.
Were hamburgers thrown?
Hamburgers were thrown. There were fights that broke out. The ambulance had to be called. People ended up being fired. It was chaos.
We reached out to Tyra Banks for comment, but didn't hear back.
If you're throwing a Christmas party, you're the employer. Based on what happened at this party, I mean, what should you do?
I would think that if your employees are doing a good job, you should show them and reward them. It doesn't necessarily have to be with gifts. It could be with compliments, but a
not with
McDonald's hamburger really is not the way to go.
But the burger...
There was the woman who lost her teeth. People lost their job. I think some dignity flowed out of the place into the sewer.
One blurry night can lead to painfully clear repercussions. One poll reported 14% of people say they know someone who was fired for bad behavior at an office holiday party. And Men's Health reported that 44% of guys admitted to hooking up with a coworker at a holiday office soiree.
How hard is it to navigate the holiday Christmas party? People talk about being afraid of going into a war zone. The holiday party is in some ways just that treacherous because you can completely blow up your career if you make the wrong move.
All of it's enough to drive you to drink, and that's exactly what Mandy Stadmiller did at her old job.
The New York Post kind of has a reputation, I think, for being a pretty outrageous tabloid, and so our office holiday party was no exception.
Now a lifestyles editor at XO Jane, Mandy decided to start one New York Post holiday party with straight whiskey.
You were just rising to the occasion. I just thought that that was a fantastic idea.
6 shots later, Mandy's at the bar with her boss.
And I took his hand and I just like bit his finger. I nibbled it. This is your boss. And then pretty soon after that, I just kind of gracefully slid off the chair. Goodbye, Merry Christmas. Yeah. And then I vomited.
1, 2, 3.
The Office immortalized holiday party antics. But sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. Imagine this is one of your bosses at the company Christmas party. For this staff, he is. TerraCycle is a recycling company. They've had a banner year launching the world's first program turning cigarette butts into plastics. We tagged along to their holiday party and brought Mandy, now sober, to help the newbies navigate it. Mandy used the party to point out some do's and don'ts for everyone.
I'm just here to have a good time and enjoy the holiday spirit.
Holiday spirits, a good thing. Mixing holiday spirits, not so much.
Good. You want some wine in your beer? Just beer in your beer. Just beer in your beer. Got it. Okay. Excellent.
Snapshots so you remember. Great. Tequila shots so you forget. Not so great.
How does this one rate on a scale of 1 to 10? I guess it's a 5 because I don't know anybody.
Being Secret Santa, okay. Displaying your secret gifts, not okay. Wait, there's more.
So uncomfortable.
But the best piece of advice came from TerraCycle's Employee of the Year.
Instead of making a smart decision and taking off.
Why is that a smart decision?
Because I like to drink, and if I drink too much, I'm going to make a fool out of myself in front of my CEO.
How important is that graceful exit? You know, people talk, and there's the water cooler gossip, and there's the kind of folklore. How long should you stay at the holiday party? Long enough to make a positive impression, to have fun, but not so much so that you seem like you have a problem.
Fortunately, TerraCycle's employees escaped unscathed, some admitting they just needed a little aspirin the next day.
If you do mess it up, and you wake up and your BlackBerry's full of people saying you were amazing last night, what do you do Monday morning? Well, I mean, I think that you want to just kind of own up to it. You know, just be real, like you acted like a hilarious idiot, and just kind of own up to that.
The evidence might already be on YouTube. Everyone wants the holiday party to be memorable, but no one wants to be the reason it was.
He's out.
Next, how to enroll in the Harvard of Santa schools.
I'm here according to my wife because I'm having a midlife crisis.
Beards, bellies, and how to handle those tricky questions.
How in the world does Santa Claus get to all of the houses in one night?
It's the same question I've been wondering for my whole entire life.
When we come back. Here's Jay Shadler with Santa Claus Confidential.
Living large as I put on my clothes. Look good from my head to my toes. That's how it is. You chillin' with Mr. Big.
Mr. Big, Saint Nick, Father Christmas, whatever the name, chanted or whispered,
A phony.
the name Santa conjures some mighty magic and a bag full of questions.
I would ask him how he makes his reindeer fly. How does he prepare billions and billions of gifts?
How in the world does Santa Claus get to all of the houses in one night?
It's the same question I've been wondering for my whole entire life.
In search of answers, 2020's crack investigative unit took to the road and found clues to most all of them near a snow-covered stretch of farmland in Midland, Michigan. This is the oldest Santa Claus training academy in the world. Founded 75 years ago by a former Macy's Santa named Charles Howard, the three-day school has over 3,000 graduates and a waiting list every fall.
I tried for 5 years to get into this school.
This is my 4th visit to the school, and my life changed after that. Instead of playing Santa Claus, I wanted to become Santa Claus.
I'm here according to my wife because I'm having a midlife crisis.
This Harvard of Santas costs $400 for 3 days of instruction and fine-tuning.
They'll ask you, oh, Santa, how many elves you have? 886.
Tom Valent and his wife Holly have been running this place.
Get them some of those C-spenders to hold their pants up.
Impeccably for the past 25 years.
You need to have great personal hygiene.
Everything.
Everything. Dry cleaning, deodorant, showers, your breath. Your hands need to be clean.
Come on up here, let me see. And carefully placed.
You have to watch the way you handle the children. If you're going to set them on your knee, keep your hands exposed so people can see them. Santa loves you.
Sadly, these days, even Santas need liability insurance. Across the U.S. this holiday, some 70,000 Santas will don the suit, if not the soul, of Santa at malls, stores, and parties. A few will rein in up to $80,000, but then an authentic Santa outfit can cost north of $2,000. Thank Coca-Cola for that. Its classic ad campaign early in the last century turned Santa's image from a gaunt hobo into a hale and hearty ho-ho-ho. Ho-ho-ho, which is where Sue Myers comes in.
This is where the magic begins.
For 15 years, Sue has been bleaching the beards and coiffing the curls of some of the finest Santas in the land. What's the key to a great Santa beard?
The beard needs to be a very soft white, and if you have dark hairs in there, it looks dry or wiry.
Doesn't look like Santa.
No. So I need to pre-lighten first.
Today, Sue's clients are Fritz Schmidt and Ray Davis, two alums of the Santa School who've come in for their annual extreme makeover. It is changing, my friend. As her business card suggests, Sue has secrets only Santa's hairdresser would know. For instance, what's this? Peppermint oil. Smells like Christmas. Just a touch.
Makes Santa smell like a candy cane for the kids.
For Santa's beard. Returning to Sue's a few hours later, Ray and Fritz were well on their way to channeling old Kris Kringle. You look like $1 million. Santa, now you're Santa. Of course, just looking the part won't get you past an audition with the kids. What makes a good Santa?
You gotta have a good heart, good smile, and you have to believe yourself, because the kids can see through it.
You bet they can. Are those Santas that you see in the shopping malls, is that the real Santa? Then who are they?
Fake people dressing up as Santa.
Children have bravely withstood the assault of fakery and doubt for centuries.
Would you please tell her that you're not really Santa Claus?
Keeping the miracle alive, not just on 34th Street, but every street, gets harder every year. With dream-crushing reporters...
He's not coming down the chimney, he's not eating those cookies, he's not bringing you anything. There's no Santa.
Some teachers telling students there's no Santa.
That's horrible.
And Santa burglars caught on tape.
It's Santa.
Then there are all those other bad Santas.
I'm on my lunch break, okay?
So many seen on YouTube, bringing discredit to the red, white, and black. Still, the 5 to 10-year-olds we gathered at New York City's PS9
Merry Christmas!
seemed very much like children everywhere. Smarter than we imagine, more innocent than we know.
I think he has helpers, many helpers that help him get to every house. I think he can duplicate himself. Or he could have some type of magic that could make it a longer night, but the clocks, nor any animals would notice.
Lyle might have something there.
Holy peppermint sticks!
When we visited the Santa house back in Michigan, we made an appointment with the most famous graduate of the Santa School, who sounds a lot like someone else we know. The dean of the Santa School. Just a coincidence, I guess. Anyway, what about that age-old question?
How do you get to all those places in one night?
This is old Santa's magic watch. And if I get behind, I just stop it like that. See, it stopped. I catch up, and I get it going again.
Oh, so that's how it's done. What about the notorious chimney issue?
I don't have a chimney, so if Santa were to come in my house, my alarm would sound. He might shut off the security alarm. He doesn't know the code, though. Or maybe he can turn, like, invisible or float over it. It has a motion sensor.
Fascinating. Santa?
You know what this is? This is a chimney expander right there. And this one's the door, key to the front door, in case you don't have a chimney.
That night, as we prepared to leave Michigan...
I can't believe that it's begun to snow.
Yeah, beautiful time of year.
Did you have anything to do with that, Tom?
Tom Valent reminded us that listening to the little ones is Santa's greatest gift. And the children?
Maybe they're the ones who bring the magic.
You're right. They're the ones. They're the ones.
And it can happen anytime a child climbs onto that big lap with questions, even hard ones, like, can you bring my father home?
He said that Santa had told him that, well, I can't promise that, but I'll pray for you. And so he come back the next year and he said, you did it, you know. My dad came home.
Before we go, here's a sneak peek at one of our favorite presents every holiday season. Barbara Walters' annual 10 Most Fascinating Boo-Boo, that is.
When these girls throw themselves at you, do you ever catch any of them?
Damn, man, I'm governor. Could you just shut up for a second?
Your critics call you a hothead. Do you need anger management?
No.
No man has ever affected me the way Christian Grey has.
What did your husband think about your writing this book? Did he do any of this to you?
Barbara, what do you think?
Mama said pretty comes in all different sizes. My size is cute.
Do you think with Argo that people are seeing Ben Affleck in a new way?
I think they're seeing me in the way that I believe I'd like to be seen.
Will you consider running for president in 2016? Would you just like to make your declaration now, and we could conclude this interview?
Looks good, looks good. You can see the rest of that special next Wednesday at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. And next Friday on 2020, another exclusive with Barbara Walters, her holiday visit to a dazzling White House and President Obama and the First Lady, the first interview they've given since being reelected. I'm Chris Cuomo for all of us at 2020 and ABC News. Have a great weekend.